to greet you all with love and respect.
Türk kadınının seçme ve seçilme hakkını elde etmesinin 86.
We are marking the 86th anniversary of the enfranchisement of Turkish women, organized by AK Party women's branches. The Day for Women's Right Day event hopefully will be auspicious for our people, for our country. In terms of the number of women and in terms of their activities, women are very actively working in AK Party, and there's no similar party to AK Party in this regard. The current number of female members of AK Party now stands at 5,200,000. This is not the case for other parties, considering the number of male or female members. And this is even a higher figure than the totality of all members for many parties. So not only in politics, but in every sphere of life, we have worked hard to ensure that women come to the place, the level they deserve. With legal regulations and amendments, we have always stood with our women and also corrected many mistakes. If I am to mention each and every action we have undertaken in this regard, it would take hours. But particularly in education and business lives, in every sphere of life, women have always been supported with their roles in life as business women, as mothers and wives, and any other title they have under the protection umbrella of the state. We always include our women, because for us women are of the half of the humankind. From Prophet Eve and Adam, this has been the reality, and it has not changed, and it will not change until the doomsday. Therefore, what falls on our shoulders is to act in line with our nature, in line with the nature that God has bestowed us with. In the past or today, anywhere in the world or anyhow, if someone acts in opposition to that, it will not mean we will turn away from our own path, because in every sphere of life, women and men acted together. There are some who make statements like they are defending women, but we have not forgotten that they ignored women back in time, from the establishment of from the foundation of the country to the industry, to business life, to the family life. Women have always stood in the citizens of this country are all members of this great family. Therefore, any kind of attack or threat posed against our family, our great family, is launched to each and every individual. And the rights belong to women and men equally. The persecutions or violence, no matter whom it targets, and no matter towards whom discrimination is adapted, it is our duty to stand against that, because it is an evil to fight against. No one is the property of anyone else, and it is not acceptable for women to be considered as such, and it is never acceptable for women to be treated as such. So for each and every human being, and of course for women, we are to ensure the protection of their honor, and we will protect the women violated against, and the same way we have to protect the daughters, our daughters abducted, and we will be protecting women who are discriminated against, all the girls who are discriminated against because of their clothing or their beliefs or religion. It doesn't matter if one is a terrorist or a politician. If someone targets the spiritual and material rights of women, then it is a duty for us to stand against them as a president and as the whole society, and to reinforce the pillars of family. The core value of the societies is again our responsibility to assume. In this direction, together with you, we will continue to serve our nation and our country. With other fields, it is important to further strengthen Turkey in terms of family structure, and we are determined to achieve our targets in terms of women's rights. Distinguished ladies, estimable guests, in Turkey, environment, women, children, disabled, relatives of martyrs and veterans, there are some people who always talk and who always speak bitter words and pessimism. But the issues they raise is not based on a context in the slightest way. They talk about environment, but whatever done for the sake of the protection of environment was done throughout our term. And those other people talk about women, but we were the ones who have taken the steps to bring the women to the level they are now. So those people had no such things in their own history, because they talk about children, but it was again us who worked relentlessly day and night to leave a bright future for our children. And again, those people talk about education, but again, it was us who undertaken all sorts of regulations and activities to make our education life and fields more productive and efficient. And it was only us who stood so much with every section of the society. In our office term of duration of term, the number of women assigned to many public positions and offices increased by 5-fold, and such a public policy has been manifesting in forms of deed we observe. While we are expediting our efforts and displaying so many efforts, there is another group who are engaged in embarrassing, disgraceful acts. In particular, CHP in this regard is exactly, in true sense of the words, an example of disasters. Similar examples were observed in the ranks of CHP before, and such harassing was observed in the past, and it was criticized by the supporters of the party even, and no one can turn a blind eye to that, to conceal the despicable wrongdoings of their own local governors or administrators. They used such words and acted. So they had all sorts of harassments against any section of the society, and again there were the people who turned a blind eye to that and who walked away. For a person who harassed women in the subway, they first said there is harassment, there is such a problem, but then when truth was revealed, they turned away, walked away. And
AK Parti'ye
weren't
muhalefet
again
ediyor diye duran bunlar değil mi?
those people
Bir
who
tecavüz örneğini
supported
faili en ağır cezayı almış olmasına rağmen
even the
yıllarca ısıtıp gündeme
rapers,
getirenler
and
bu
they
uzun listenin üzerini
did indeed
niye örtmeye çalışıyor acaba?
bring this subject to the attention
Mesele
of
tacize
many
ve tecavüze
over
karşı
and over
çıkmak,
again, but when
kadına
it
ve
comes to
çocuğa
reality,
sahip
they try
çıkmaksa
to hide the
burada
truth.
gerçekten
But
çok vahim bir
standing
durum var.
for women, with women, and
İşlerindeki
standing with
rezilliklere
children and
ve
for them
kepazeliklere
is the real
bakmadan
deed.
önlerine
But
gelene
disregarding
çamur
their
atmayı,
own
pislik sıçratmayı,
disgrace,
yalan ve
their
iftira
own
ile
shame,
itibar
these
suikastı yapmayı
people
siyaset kılıfıyla,
adapt
Atatürkçülük
politics to
kılıfıyla,
defame
sosyal demokrasi
others
kılıfıyla örtmeye
and
kalkanların
conceal their
maskelerini
acts
düşürmekte
through
kararlıyız, bu
social
böyle bilin.
democracy or with claims that they stand for the state. But we are determined to make their masks fall, and we are determined to expose their real faces. When it comes to their rapers are good. When it comes to their despicable, their unethical people, it's okay for them. But this is an ugly, a very ugly behavior. So this dirty mindset that tries to hide acts of violence and harassment will not bring about any good to the society, and is an insult to everyone in the society, from the farmers to the public officers to civil servants and every section of the society. Mr. Kemal, your MP is insulting my people, my armed forces and my soldiers. But you are not speaking any negative word in the face of such an insult. But our nation will never forgive you. Our nation will never do. We have a military now insulted, but the army itself and all the members of our army are gallant, is a gallant soldier. So this is our heroic army, and we will never allow you to attack them. From here and there, you can make some negative statements, but our nation will never make the same, and will never consider and think in the same way as you do. But such people have such behaviors in their nature, because they have never been the soldiers who befitted to the glory of this nation. Now, when our soldiers are fighting terrorists and our law enforcement officers are fighting terrorists in the mountains, their MPs were actually attending the funerals of these terrorists. Unfortunately, and unfortunately, in this country, they showed their faces. Just a while ago, you saw during the funeral ceremony, this guy, this person, this despicable person, this immoral person was grinning when he was talking to someone during the funeral ceremony. But our nation has holy values, and you cannot go after such immoral, unethical behaviors when we have a nation that holds its values high up in esteem. But our nation knows you very well, and we firmly believe that in the next elections, these people will learn the biggest lesson of their lives yet once again. Just think about it. They claim that all who does not support CHP are the proponents of AK Parti only, or who are lying. And every time, even though their lies are revealed, they
Değerli arkadaşlar,
continue to act in the same fashion.
saygıdeğer
And
hanım
what
kardeşlerim,
else could you
bunun
expect
kadar,
from the people
bunlar
with
kadar
such a mindset?
yalanı
My
rahat
distinguished brothers and
söyleyebilen
sisters,
bir
these are the
siyasetçi ben
people,
tanımıyorum.
the politicians who lie
Akşam yalan,
that
sabah
easily.
yalan.
And I have never
Bir doğru
known
konuşuyor,
any other politician
bir
who
dürüst
could
konuşuyor.
lie so easily.
Kaç kez
Lies
şu
over and
Sakarya'daki
over. And at least
palet
once you should
fabrikasıyla,
speak the truth.
tank fabrikasıyla
In Sakarya now we
her
have
şey
a tank
vesikalarıyla
manufacturing
ortaya
facility,
koyduğumuz halde
and
hala bunu
every
konuşuyor.
document of
Ya
that
buradan sana ekmek
is now
çıkmaz, boşuna
accessible.
konuşma.
And even though we have presented each and every document related with the process of the
Zira burada
facility, he
tamamıyla
still now
her
talks
yönüyle
about it and never
zarar
stops.
eden
But there is
bir
no good to
tank
come
palet
your way
fabrikası varken
because
şimdi
this
buraya
tank manufacturing facility in the past
BMC ile
was registering
ortak
loss over
faaliyette
loss.
olan
But now it
Katar'ın
has been
kalkıp da
cooperating,
burada
partnering with
yaptığı
BMC
yatırım
and Qatar. And this
cepten
investment
herhangi bir
made
şey
by
çıkmadı.
Qatar here
yaptığı yatırımla buranın hem
has made this
renove edilmesi,
facility
hem
more
restore edilmesi,
productive, and this
makinelerin
facility
A'dan
has
Z'ye
been
yenilmesiyle
renovated,
bu
restored, all the
yenilenme
machinery
sürecinde
refurbished
fabrika
and maintained, and through
kendimize
this
ait
process, this
tanklarımızın
facility,
bakım
this
onarımından
factory
tutun,
now is able to
yeni
operate
atılacak
and
adımlarda da
deal
çok
with all
ciddi bir
sorts of
yatırım olarak
manufacturing
ortaya çıkmıştır
and
ve böyle de
maintaining
yoluna devam edecek.
and
Siz
renewing
buna benzer işleri
actions,
SEKA'da da
and it will
yaptınız.
continue to operate and
Ne oldu?
invest further.
Biz SEKA'da
And you did the same
adımı
for
attık.
SEKA, the
Şu
paper
anda SEKA diye bir
production
şey kaldı mı?
factory of Turkey.
Kalmadı.
You used
SEKA'nın
to
personelini biz o
administrate
zaman
that factory,
Kocaeli
but
Belediyesi'ne aktardık ve SEKA'nın
you
yerini de
ruined the structure.
hem müze hem de millet bahçesi
And
haline
now the
getirdik.
location where
Ama
the
bunlarda böyle
facility
bir
was
zevk
in
yoktur ha.
have been
Millet
converted
bahçesi nedir?
into a
Yeşil alanlar
a
nedir?
museum and a
Müzeler nedir?
national
Yok.
garden
Bak
because
Bay
they
Kemal,
have
biz
no
şimdi bu akşam
they had no
ta
such
20 yıl
activities
önce
in the
başlanmış
past
olan
similar to
bir
ours.
opera
But
binasını
now also we are
açılışını
going to be
yapıyoruz.
opening officially a concert hall in
Ve
Ankara
şimdi
tonight.
buradan sürekli olarak
And from here,
yıl boyunca inşallah
throughout the year,
bu akşamki program sürekli
continuously,
yayınlanacak.
we will be
Ve
broadcasting
Türkiye'de bizim böyle bir opera
performances.
binamız
But in
şu ana
Turkey,
kadar olmadı,
we haven't had
Malum
such an
bir de bizim
opera, such an
külliyedeki
symphony
yerimiz
orchestra
var. Şimdi
concert
hemen
hall.
arkasından
But
da
now we have,
İstanbul
and
eski
there is another
Atatürk Kültür Merkezi
venue at the presidential
farklı bir
complex, and in
mimariyle
Istanbul,
orası da
Atatürk
inşallah
Culture Center
bitiyor
will
ve
be
bütün bunları
completed in
bizim
its construction with a very
bizim
unique
icraatımızın
design and
ulaştığı
architecture.
yere
And
sizin
we are the
hayalleriniz
ones
bile
who
ulaşamaz.
make all these come true. So your dreams even will not be equal to what we really do in practice.
Partisine oy vermeyen herkesi
So anyone who does not
ihanetle
vote for their
suçlarken
party is
ülkesini
accused
sürekli
of
yabancılara
treason
şikayet
by these
eden,
people,
onlardan
and they make
aldığı
complaints
süfleyle
to external
kendi
parties
devletine
about our
saldıran
own
bir
country,
zihniyetten
and they
başka
attack
ne beklenir?
their own state
Aslında
with the
kendisini bir
ideas that
sebepten
they
dolayı
get
ağzından
from some other
çıkanlardan
foreigners,
ötürü
foreign
mazur
parties,
göreceğiz.
and
Ama oturduğu
now he
koltuk
wants to be
ve sahip
excused
olduğu
for
sıfat
those words
maalesef buna
he
mani.
mentioned before, but the
Buradan
chair he occupies
ben
and the
CHP'li
title he
hanım
holds
kardeşlerimize
would
sesleniyorum.
not allow this. He
Buradan
will never be
Türkiye'deki
forgiven in
tüm
this
kadınlara
regard or
sesleniyorum.
excused. And I would like to make a
Partisindeki
call on all the
taciz
women
ve tecavüz
of
furyası
CHP and
karşısında
all the
sessiz
ranks, all
kalan,
the members
hatta
and
her
supporters of
hadisenin üzerine
CHP.
örtmeye çalışan, önüne gelene hakaret eden bu zata
This
ve
person
partisine
who insults
ilk fırsatta
everyone and who
unutamayacakları
tries
bir ders
to
verir.
conceal the wrongdoings of his own and his party should be taught a lesson. Give him a lesson this time, and this lesson should be so strong that they will not have a courage to show their faces out on the street yet again, once again. And I am firmly I firmly believe that the glorious Turkish women will teach him such a lesson. Distinguished guests, distinguished ladies, the enfranchisement of Turkish women was possible before many European countries, and it was very important that it took place not with force but through its natural course. And this is what we have to do today as well. Women, men, children are the essential members of our great family, and all the works we will be pulling off, of course, will be related with our own values of civilization and history. In the past, women and men could apply the agricultural lands together and endure all the hardships of life together, benefit from all the deeds, all the bountifulness of life together, worked together, stood shoulder to shoulder together in the past. But some wrong behaviors and habits were adopted by some, and they tried their best to destructure, to distort the family values of our country, but we will never allow them because we know that we are responsible and we have been taking all the measures to protect our women against all evil. From education to business life, from politics to civil society activities, we will support women in each and every field, each and every sphere of life. And as their children, as their brothers, as their husbands, and their family members, we will continue to stand with them and further empower them in the family as well. In regard the Istanbul Convention, there are certain discussions ongoing, but these discussions are rather not related with the essence of the thing, but due to certain wrong practices. Some do fix some practices, but we will not give way to some who will practice wrongdoings, and we will be taking steps without causing any possibility of wrongdoing, and we will ensure and assure that the practices are put in place on the basis of equity and justice. So all we have gained so far will be protected in their essence, not only in forms of words to utter. May God help us on this path, and with all those thoughts in mind, I would like to thank to PARTİ women's branches for their activities to encourage women more and more, for them to participate to every sphere of life, politics mostly. And today an election took place in Şanlıurfa. We were in office for Siverek municipality, but as the Siverek mayor resigned for the post now, Ayşe Çakmak, Miss Çakmak, is there, and she graduated from 2 universities, and she's studying for her 3rd degree. And in the first round of votes cast today, Miss Ayşe Çakmak has now been the mayor-elect for this district of Siirt province of our country. The election process finished a few hours ago. I wish that she was here with us today too, but for the next event, for the next presidential PARTİ Women's Branches event, hopefully she will be here with us. And Fatma, Miss Fatma, you should not be jealous of her. Anyways, joke aside, I also congratulated all the other mayors, and the mayor of Elazığ province paid a visit yesterday, and we had talks, and after this morning's work, all the work, we saw that they emerged victorious. The opposition party also tried their best, but with a margin of 24 additional votes, our sister has now won the election for office in the municipality, and it has been a very proper step for us on this beautiful day. It has been very much to the point, and the stronger we keep on this path, and the more we empower women, the stronger we will all be. And on this occasion of the 86th anniversary of the enfranchisement of Turkish women, I would like to once again share my love and respect with each and every one of you and the women of our country. Thank you very much. Stay in health.
Kıymetli hanımefendiyi de kürsüyü teşrifleri için arz ediyorum efendim ve hediyeyi takdim etmek üzere AK Parti Genel Merkez Kadın Kolları adına Genel Merkez Kadın Kolları Başkanımız Sayın Lütfiye